believe it or not, I'm actually going to be nice to this lady because I do think that she did nothing wrong. She was minding her own business. Some person appears with a microphone and asks her a question, and the answer that she gave seems to have upset a lot of people from Japan. Like, I'm looking in the comments section, and there's a lot of Japanese people upset, and Westerners don't understand why this is. This is due to the fact that in Japan, it's considered polite to maintain the harmony of society. So if you notice that there is something you don't like, you're not supposed to say it. Like for instance, if you're asked, even if you're asked, like you're in a restaurant and someone goes like, "How is the food?" Even if the food is absolutely atrocious and horrible, you're supposed to say something positive. Like you're supposed to say, "Well, it tastes interesting." Right? You're not supposed to be very blunt with your criticism. So due to this, I do understand that there is a cultural difference here. So she was walking on the street and she's asked, it's like, how is it like to date in Japan? And she gave an interesting answer. Let's listen to it.
What's it like dating in Japan as a foreign woman?
I think it's really difficult. I think it's probably more difficult than dating like in your home country as a foreigner.
What made you say so?
I think obviously there's a cultural difference in a mindset around what's okay and not okay when you're dating. Sometimes as a foreigner, you get like fetishized more.
What do you mean by fetishized?
Not all Japanese men, some Japanese men see you more like as an experience, not as like a girlfriend. So they just want like the gaijin experience.
Okay, so I'll stop her right here because I've heard enough. I have heard enough. Like first of all, right? Obviously, there's the cultural difference. But this is something that even in your country, you learn it when you grow up. So like if you're a teenager and you're starting to date, there are certain things that you have to do, like certain expectations of you, and it's on you to learn them. So if like obviously if you go in another country, you have to learn them again. That is part of the difficulty. I agree, but the fetishization thing, it really annoys me, right? And it goes much deeper than what this lady is saying, because this is like a Western problem, I would say. Like first of all, when you go to Japan, right? Why can't we assume that you're there to fetishize the men as well? I mean, right? Because it's the attraction to the exotic. Now the academia from the hallowed universities of the United States of America, who have invented the science and have given it to the rest of us mortals, has decreed that usually only the white man fetishizes. But the reality is that human beings are attracted to the exotic. It's not just when it comes to sexuality. Like when human beings want to own a cat, right? You can take a cat off the street, which is free, but a lot of people are going to spend even like $10,000, $20,000 on an exotic cat. Why? Because it's different. That's why. And if that exotic cat, which costs 20 grand, would be everywhere on the street, it wouldn't cost 20 grand and people wouldn't take it, right? Like they would pay money for another one. So my point is that, yes, like human beings are attracted to the exotic. The exotic means something rare, right? So like if you grow in a place where there are no people with blue eyes, you would like blue eyes just because they're rare. And if you grew in another place where everyone has blue eyes, you'd like dark eyes because they're rare. Does that make any sense? Right? So like this is what you're talking when you say fetishization. It's part of the human experience. It's not that like Japanese men do it. It's not that, and it's probably that she does it as well. Like that's why you went to Japan, I assume. And you could have gone to many other places. You could have gone to India, you could have gone to Germany, you could have gone to many places. But the reason you chose that is because, well, you probably like the people, right? But anyway, right, the thing with fetishization, like, why is it a problem? Well, it's a problem, and this is what feminists also tell us it's a problem, is the concept of objectifying, right? Like, it's a horrible concept. It's like objectifying, right? What is objectifying? Well, it's turning a person into the object of desire. It is horrible. And it's also fascinating. It's fascinating because these progressive individuals from the academia, they absolutely despise and hate anything that's conservative in nature, but at the same time, they crave conservatism. It's a very bizarre oxymoron when you stop to think about it. So, like, what is the conservative way of life? Well, the conservative way of life is that when you're a teenager, when you're 18, in some places it's 16, well, let's go with 18. When you're 18, you start dating. And then you manage to find your soulmate. And once you find your soulmate, you marry them, And there is no such thing as a divorce, especially not a no-fault divorce. Like, what is that? You grow old together. You raise children. That is the purpose of marriage. That is the purpose of relationship in the conservative mindset. So if you're a man, the only way you can have sex is by marrying another woman. And in order to marry her, you have to treat her nice. You have to seduce her. You have to have a long-term commitment, meet her family. That is what conservatives believe. More forward-thinking and enlightened individuals that have discovered wisdom that the conservatives haven't managed to figure out for 2,000 years are saying that no, that's not how society should work. We need to have sexual revolution. So now we don't have marriage as a final destination. No, it's just like a cherry on the top of the relationship. And you can have a divorce, whatever you want, no fault divorce, like that's fine. And the only thing, like the only rule that remains is consent. Like consent is literally the only thing that has remained from what your parents, what your grandparents used to have. Like they had all these rules and all these systems in place, right? And we got rid of all of them and we only have consent, right? So this is what it means for women to have sexual liberation. The problem is that in this system, men also have sexual liberation. So up until now, if a man wanted to have sex, they would have to get married. But under the new system, they don't have to get married. In fact, many men realized that there is no need. Like, why settle for one person, right? So the hookup culture becomes a thing. The dating apps also help with it. And even more so, beyond the fact that there's a hookup culture, there's like the concept of the one-night stand. And you get to even see this being expressed in video games. Like if you play Baldur's Gate 3, you will notice that this is what it is. It's the hookup culture. Like all the characters, they have sex with anyone. Like there is no more sexual preferences that the NPCs have. They have sex with anything and anyone, even a bear. It doesn't matter, 2 people, 3 people, like that's fine. And what, like the whole purpose of the relationship is the sex. Like that is the finality, right? Like that is replacing marriage, if you will. Like you just did it with this person, okay, you move on. And this is modern culture, right? This is modernity. But unfortunately, many women don't like it, right? So they don't like the fact because they want a relationship. Like they may like a man, you know, like the thing is like they may like the concept of like dating different men and stuff, but eventually they meet that one guy. Like they meet the guy that they want to be with. And that guy is only interested in the hookup. That guy only wants the one night stand, and then he wants to move away because he is sexually liberated as well, right? It goes both ways. So when that happens, women get upset, and it's like, well, hold on a little bit. Like, why did this happen? Right? They want the conservative mindset. Like, they want to have a relationship with him. They want marriage, but he doesn't. So what they do then is that they use word like objectifying, fetishization, right? Like they come up with these terms in order to articulate that what they want is to have the conservative lifestyle with that one guy. Like they want to rob him of his free will. They want to rob of his possibility of saying, you know, like, okay, well, we went on till this part, you know, consent was given, but now I'm not interested. I want to go and meet another girl. They hate that, right? But there are no tools in modern culture for them to use other than trying to shame them and say, oh my God, you're objectifying me. Oh, stop it, blah, blah, blah. But that has nothing to do with consent, right? So this is the predicament that they are in. They are in a predicament where they want a system that empowers them to like go with different men and then just pick the one they like, and that man should be forced to not be able to do what they do and then pick a different woman, right? So I don't think the problem of this lady is Japan. Like her problem that she is saying, well, there's a lot of men that are interested in the gaijin experience and then they move away. That thing happens in Britain. That thing happens in Romania. That thing happens in the United States. Like there are many men that are interested in this. Now what's interesting, and I think this is fascinating, there are also men that are desperate for a relationship, right? Like, unironically, if she manages to get like an actual de facto incel, he would probably respect her. He would probably like not want to just get the gaijin experience. He would probably try his best in order to be a good husband. But here's where the standards come into play. I mean, you got your dating app that has like 500 other people that you can swipe left. Why would you stay and try to build something from the beginning? So there's a multitude of problems here. But like all in all, you know, I am happy. So why would I care about other people's problems? It just is what it is. Like, I have mastered the system. I read the patch notes. I understand how the meta is supposed to be played. I'm playing it. Hopefully you guys are having fun as well. You know, if the system ever changes, we'll adapt. But up until that point, I'm just looking at this and I'm like, well, yeah, it makes sense. I mean, it is what it is. Let me know what you guys think. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.